You can also create a new category. Categories are something that helps people when they're on your store kind of sort and find items, and also on the overall Eventeny platform. So but the challenge here is you don't want to have too many categories. You don't want to have art, fine art, like it's not a tag, they're categories. So you want to have as few of these as possible, and you want to really choose one category. We may let you do like 2 categories, but we are hosting 100 artists, and we don't want people to show up multiple times when people are doing like category searches, because then less people will get profiled. Like some artists will get profiled a lot and other artists won't, and we want to make sure that everybody gets profiled. So we're going to ask you to choose the main category for that piece.
Yeah, the other thing too is that it's not a great experience for the customers coming into the store. If you have the same painting in multiple categories, it's confusing. So trying to really think about you know, how the audience is going to look at it, how they're going to navigate your store, and how to make it a really easy shopping experience for them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're going to click off available for sale, because that's why you're there. You want to sell your work. Quantity available. Well, this is a fine art show, so really the focus is on fine art. As with the criteria set out for this show, we're suggesting you have up to 30 pieces in the show. And again, because we want to make sure that that if somebody's scrolling through, they can see all the artists. So please only upload 30 different products. But we want you to be successful, and we understand that some people are selling prints or cards or some smaller pieces, maybe unnumbered photographs or something like that. And this is where it could take up 20% of the pieces that you're showcasing. So with that, we mean, so if there's 30 pieces, you could have 6 pieces that are prints. And those prints, or those unnumbered prints for photographers, you should only show that image once, right? But you could put multiple quantities here. So if I was doing a print and I want to sell more than one, and I just thought, okay, I'll put 3 here or something like that, right? Because I want, if somebody buys it, I still want it available for somebody else to purchase. Then you're going to drop in your price, and you're going to select your shipping type. So again, the shipping type, there's free shipping. So if you want to roll the shipping in to the cost of your goods, that's fine. If you want to do a fixed shipping cost, you can do that. You can also calculate based on location. And this is what it's going to reference back to that other shipping that you put in your business profile above this. And that's like, whether it's FedEx, Canada Post, UPS, it's going to basically use the calculator based on the location, which was the address that you put in your profile, right? To the address of the customer. The customer is going to have to put their address in order for it to calculate the shipping cost. And then that's going to automatically be attached to the price of your product. Or you could put self or in-person delivery, right? So that means if someone's going to...
Yeah, I was just saying this is really important too, because even though normally if you're doing the Riverdale ArtWalk in person, most people are living in the GTA, we certainly had quite a few sales in the last shows that are for overseas and into the US. So I think you really want to think about if you're going to do free shipping, are you going to actually do that and ship your stuff to the US? It probably makes more sense to have it based on the location.
Yeah, so I think it's up to the artist. So the really nice thing, this is a new feature, calculate based on location, which is awesome. And here's the weight. So let's just put 10 pounds in and 0 ounces. You have to put it in bulk. You have to actually fill that in, even if it's a 0. This is a nice feature. Allow buyers the option to pick up instead of delivery. Yes, I'm going to do that. And here's a shipping delivery note, right? For buyers. Blah, 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 right? Like, you know, are you in the GTA? Stop by my studio and pick up my work, right? Save yourself shipping, right? So they can select that on checkout. Then you're going to have to add your package dimensions. So mine's inches. So your product is, let's say it's 24. Oh, sorry. This is a little bit off. Length and depth they have first, and I'm sorry, that's their template, not ours. So just, you know, my painting's not 24 inches deep. It's 1.5 inches deep, right? So it's a little bit in a different order than what we're maybe used to. And then here's the package measurements. So this is a new feature as well. They've tried to make it so that it can calculate the size of your package appropriately for shipping. So however many inches you think you need to add on to your packaging or whatever, right? You might want to do that. So let's say my package is going to grow because of my shipping container. And then a description, if you want to put something in there about the way it's going to be shipped or what to expect, or, and then allow customization is allowing customization on this product. So this is really for people who are doing elements that can be customized, like t-shirts and other vendors. I think really, it's not really for us. And then here's product YouTube links. So you can also, if you have a link to a video. Yep.
So I have a quick question about shipping. So the question is whether or not shipping insurance is covered in the shipping cost. So my understanding here is that the Eventeny program will actually calculate the shipping amount, will charge the person who's buying the art. So you get paid for the art and the shipping, but you're still responsible for connecting with the shipping company and doing all the paperwork for that, right?
Correct. Yeah. So Eventeny is working on doing labeling and working with different shipping companies. It's not integrated into the system right now. So that's, you would need to go in and basically do the shipping totally on your own. This is a calculator for getting paid for shipping, right? So again, and it's at your own risk if you want to do it this way, right? Because it's going to use the calculators from FedEx or Canada Post or whatever. It's going to go pull that information. So.
Right. So if you want to add insurance on top of that, and I think normally with Canada Post and FedEx, they cover a certain percentage anyway, but if you want to add additional insurance, that would be an additional cost that you would carry.
Right. So you would maybe want to put that in a descriptor, right? Something either in here about shipping and delivery or in this description here, right? I think this description is more about how it's packaged, right? And this description here is more about shipping. So extra shipping fees will include insurance depending on location. Like you're just going to have to put some sort of note in there for buyers, right? And then what you're going to do, allow generate cue card, whatever, save and continue, right? Now you're going to add your pictures. So you can kind of click on here. I'm just doing this. So, oops, let me just see what I have here. Let's just pick a picture. Maybe I shouldn't have done this, but just shows you how easy it is. So now you can add, you can continue to add more pictures if you want. And so you have different views of the product. Save and continue. Variations I'll talk about shortly, but I just want to kind of show you the product and everything like that first. Okay, so it added it in, but it's way on the bottom. I have a lot of products. So I'm just going to open up this one here. On the top here because it has variations in it. So I hope that kind of makes sense in regards to like just actually creating and building just a product. Here's one I did earlier today. I just want to show you a few features here. So that's basically how you add a product, and now I'll get into a little bit more detail. I don't know if there's any questions, Kate.
Yeah, there is one about framed and non-framed, which I think is in the variables. So maybe you can talk about the variations.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So within these products, there's a lot of new features in Eventeny. One being that you can do a bulk import, right? And I think what I'm going to do is basically tell you, if you want to do that, I think just go and look at these videos right here, bulk upload, right? And then image upload using Dropbox. So there's, I'll open it up just briefly and show you, but it's basically using an Excel spreadsheet and then copying links of your images that are in different places, and like putting it all on a spreadsheet and putting the data in that way, and then basically uploading the document and all your products will show up. So it's kind of cool, but I think if you watch that video, that would make most sense, because I have a feeling most people are just going to go diligently through and add their products. We're only adding 30 products, right? And they're very specific. One thing I did want to say for the product is that the shipping and the cost for the shipping and the way that each shipping is done, you can change it for different products. So here I have a large piece versus here I have a small piece. So maybe I'm going to throw in my shipping for my small pieces free in North America or something like that. And then maybe these pieces, I might put a note in that says something different for shipping. You can, once all your products are in, you can publish and unpublish. So I can unpublish it. So for those people who, if we are going to do the tent tour, during the tent tour, if they don't want to watch their inventory because they're going to be so busy at the booths, talking to people and being engaged. And if they sell a product and, oh no, I'm selling it online at the same time, you can just go in that morning and just unpublish your products. That means that somebody won't be able to purchase on the site. right? But you can also still leave it published and they can see it. And then I'm going to show you another thing that you can do to turn it off. But the fastest way to basically turn your product is just to click through and go through and unpublish. So you'll see these products are from another show and they're all unpublished, right? It's pretty easy to go through and basically remove a product, which is totally deleting it, copying a product, which means you could basically copy all the content from that product and then just edit it, which means just like changing the images and changing the title of it if a lot of your stuff is similar, right? And you can, this is new as well, you can actually just preview the product. So if I wanted to just see what this one product looked like after I put in all my information, this is what, so it looks a little bit different than it has in past shows. This is what this product looks like. So you've got a big image, it's the first image that you've put into when you uploaded your images, and then you'll have different images. I actually put a video link in here, so I'll just show you that. It's going to pop up second. So it just shows you, this isn't actually the same piece, but it just shows you a little bit about like if you wanted to put a piece in, you could actually record yourself talking about the piece if you wanted to, and someone could turn that volume on, right? And then I've just put in some pictures here about like if you wanted it framed or whatever, and I'm just going to show you that. So my description, I put in my pricing, my quantity is 1, my product sizes are here, my shipping. I actually did this really fast today, so I didn't actually set that, but I just put a note in here. Variation. So here's the variations. No frame, 1 available. Natural birch floating frame. I put, yes, I had $200, 1 available. So people can click on that and they could click, or they could click on this one, a white floating frame. So if I wanted to do framing, you could do that. So I'll go back. Should I go back and show you how to do that for a minute?
One quick question actually about the shipping. So when you were doing your test, you sort of said, local buyers reach out to me about direct shipping. So how do the customers do that at their end if they're buying the piece? Do they just kind of click on that they're going to
I think
pick up?
So let me just see here. I don't know if I actually, let me just go to that other product where I actually put that they could. I don't know if I actually put this variance in here. So if I was to buy this, Canada, I'm going to put my postal code. So let me see if I can actually put this in my box. I don't know if I can because it's my profile. So,
and the store's probably not live yet.
Yeah. Oh, so I can't actually buy it because this, I think I'll find out exactly. I think it's going to be a thing here. Like there's going to be a thing whether you actually, so my shipping is 293. Oh, so look, it actually did that. If it estimated that it's 1-day delivery with FedEx, it's going to be, my shipping is going to be an additional $293, right? So, and that's just putting in that information. I don't really see it turn on and turn off. So I'll reach out to Eventeny because I wasn't able to test this today. So I will reach out and find out because that was a new button that they just put on there. Yeah, so I can't actually buy this because our show is not live.
Yeah, so I guess what we want is if people can have the option between going through the FedEx shipping or else whether or not they want to pick it up from your studio and then pay the right through the system so they don't lose them.
Right. So what I did last time when we did the show, I just put a note in there to reach out to me for additional shipping costs, and they'll be invoiced once we determine what the shipping cost is going to be, right? Like that's what I did last time, but I think this is a really cool feature that now you can use Canada Post or FedEx or whatever you normally use for shipping. For some people, this might be a nice benefit. So I'll find out how we actually can, if there's an off and on, because in the back end, it definitely looks like that.
Okay.
All right, so I'm just going to go back here. So if there's no other questions, I think I'll just quickly scoot over to the
variables,
the variants. Right. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is my product. So I'm going to scooch through. So you just have to save. Oh, maybe I'll just change the shipping thing here. Yeah. See, I did do that, and it didn't. I was selected here. Okay. Allow buyers the option to pick up instead of delivery. So I will ask Eventeny.
Okay. We just don't know what it looks like from the front end, I guess, because we can't test it yet.
I think it's because the store is not really open. I can't actually put that in a cart. So, but it did calculate the shipping. Okay. So here, this is what I did. So what you're going to do is if you have variation. So this might be, for example, I think in art, we might do it for framing. I don't know. And somebody might want to do this, for example, if you're selling prints and you're selling multiple sizes, right? So then you're basically going to put the images in here, the different sizes or the different framing, or if it's on a different substrate, like if you're doing photography and someone can do it on metal versus canvas versus something else, right? And you're gonna put some variants here. So you're going to save, you're going to upload your pictures here. And if you don't have them all uploaded, it doesn't really matter. So I created one variation here, and that variation I called framing, right? So let's say we're going to do another variation. I'll just click on it. So I'm going to title this size, maybe, right? And my choice is going to be 10 by 10. So this is obviously a print or for a photographer. And then my choice, my price increment. So what happens is you set your price, whatever price you actually set the product for is for that main price. So it's gonna, you can't go down, you have to go up. So let's say that was a 6 by 6, or let's say that was a, I don't know, let's say that was a 10 by 10, and now I'm gonna do like a larger size, 24 by 24, right? Or that's on canvas and now I'm doing metal and I'm going to add a price, right? So my variation might be size and it might be substrate. Anyway, your choice, you're going to increase my size. So my choice is going to be, I'm going to, because I'm going doubling the size. If my price was $100, now it's going to, I'm going to add another $100. Let's say, because my other piece was $100, I'm going to add $100. So that's going to be a $200 piece. Is it going to be more expensive for shipping? Because my shipping is based on my other size, so it will be. So this is where shipping gets really tricky. I would suggest, honestly, with the whole variables and everything, unless you really know what your shipping is and you're saying this is shipping costs are for North America and the shipping outside of North America may incur additional costs. Like, it depends on how you word your content. You can actually put an additional cost in here for shipping. So I'll put one in here just for the sake of it, just for our discussion, $20. And then do I have a limit in regards to the quantity? I would say yes, always have a limit. I'm going to put 1. And this is an interesting thing. Whatever quantity I have, I set in my full amount. That's what all my variants have to add up to. So if I had like 3 different size prints and I had 2 of each print available, that means my quantity overall is going to be 6, and you have to set that with your first, on your first page. So you can go back and edit it, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to say yes, my quantity, and I have 2 of these available. Okay, so then I have to pick the version. So I'm going to pick up this one, and sorry, I don't have the right pictures because I'm just doing I don't actually have a different picture, but I'm just going to do this. I'm going to save it. I'm going to, oh, I should have added another one. So you're going to add a choice, right? So I'm going to do another choice, and that's it. It's going to be 36 by 36. You'll put in like proper measurements and everything. And then this is going to add $200. Wow, what a deal. My shipping is going to be only $40 more. Okay, quantity, yes. Items, yeah, I got 2 available that size, let's say. I'm going to pick a different image. Let's just say it's a larger picture of the piece or something like that, or it's on a different substrate, and I'm going to save. So now I've got 2 different variations, right, on size. I forgot to actually add the very first one, which you should, your variation, you have to put the main one in as well. So I'm just going to actually make this my main one. So I'm going to make that $0 because that's my, sorry, that's the price that I originally put in, let's just say. Sorry, I'm probably making people
So it's kind of confusing. Now. So the first one,
so the first one should be 0 prices because you've already set that price, right, in your product. I'll go back for a second.
So the one that's showing up in the store is the original. So that's the first one. That's not really a variation. That's the original one. And then the variations after that are different sizes or shapes or.
Yeah. So then you have to add additional costs. So I'll just show you that for this particular product, I'm just going to close that. The very first, so on this one, on this product or whatever, I set my price here. So I was just saying if it was $100, then I grow up in size and it's going to be, I don't actually have the right images and stuff like that. But let's say this price was going to be like, I have to add $100 for shipping, or I mean, I have to add $100 because I'm going up in size with this price point. It would obviously be a lot more than that, right? So I should have actually done a better sample, I guess. I'll just save this one. Save and continue. So I'm just gonna save and close this, and I'll just show you what it looks like. We're just gonna preview this product. So right now I have, it can get confusing, variation. So I can pick my framing and it's this much. I can also pick my size. But so the challenge becomes if you have too much variations, it gets very, very confusing. I would just do 1 on this product. I wouldn't I don't think I would do 2, but you just have to really make sure you set your pricing right. But you can see here that basically I went from a 24 by 24. I have 2 available. It would be my main pricing, whatever pricing I set, like let's say it was $100 or whatever. And then here I have a 36 by 36 in the same piece or whatever. And it's going to cost me an extra $200, right? But it's also going to add another $40 for shipping. And I've got 2 available. So that's kind of how it shows up for the client. So that's more like, I think, for prints, or let's say if you're changing the substrate or something like that. Does that make sense, Kate? Or do I need to do another sample? I probably should have done it on the same sample.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I think it's probably more, I mean, you're either going to use it either for prints that have different sizes probably, or framed and not framed, right? Like I just think trying to get as clean as you can.
And I think the framed and not framed, I'm still debating about, because it's kind of questionable. Because when one of the questions I posed to Eventeny, which I didn't hear back from today, was, so this is, I just want to go show you something. So let's say I have all these different variations. Here I have to set the quantity that I have available. I had 1. So in order for them to be able to choose more than, like, for me to have like different sizes available. And if I have, like, let's say I have 2 of each size and I have 3 different sizes, I'd have to set this at 6. Right? Otherwise, people couldn't buy them.
Right.
So
probably the easiest thing, or the most relevant thing where people are going to actually use this, is if you have some prints. You're allowed to do,
I think so, yeah.
The prints. So you have 10 different prints of the same size, and you put 10 in there. As someone buys them, now you only have 9.
Yeah. So you have to see if this is something that's beneficial for you as an artist. You have to remember this tool is done for all kinds of people. So like it might be jewelers. So they have a different color, like red, blue, green, yellow, and they're all the same prices, but they have all these variations, and then they can just like pick the right color when they're going to go out and like go to the checkout, right? So I just was trying to think of ways that an artist would use that feature. I just want to show you why it says variation when you're going through and what that might be. So I thought maybe we'd be able to use it for framing, or maybe you'd be able to use it to do prints, or if you're changing your substrate or something like that. I don't know if other people have other ideas or if you have questions on that, but that's basically it for adding a product. So you can add your products. I think one thing I didn't show people, to change your image and to change the orders of anything, all you do, whenever you see these arrows, if you hold down those arrows, you can move things around. So now this product's first in my store, right? So you can drag and drop, and it's the same thing here. Let's say I want to edit these pictures, and let's say I want this one first on, like on my profile or whatever, I can just drag it. I can just move these by dragging these things around. Oops, I don't know what I'm doing. There. Right, so you can just change it and then close. So that just changes the order of products, so that little arrow that you see, and it's in a lot of different places. People are going to ask like, well, how can I change the order of things? That's how you change it. You move these things. It's the same as this video, right? Let's say I wanted this video up instead of the other video. I could just change that. So you might want to adjust your profile throughout the show. You might want to change the products that are showing in your show.
So we have a couple of questions, and actually I think that, Ange, if you can go back to the original, uploading the original art with where you put the in situ piece, I think there's a couple people that would like to know that for sure. And the question is, if you're doing prints, can you do the original product as the main one, and then the prints has the variations? My guess is probably not, because the just the way the pricing structure works, where you're adding on top.
Yeah. The pricing structure works like it's getting it's increase in price. So I would say no, that won't work. And it doesn't really work from, I think all I can really say is this is a fine art show, and our focus should be fine arts and not prints. And so I kind of like that idea that yes, you can buy like the art this way, or if you can't afford that, then you can kind of get this print. But I don't think you would want to use that for your variations. I think you would have prints as a category within your store. So if I was just to show the storefront, which Kate, I don't know if you want to show yours, because I only have a couple products showing in mine. I can, I guess, turn more on. So right now I just have these 2 products showing that are on. I guess I must have unpopulated or unpublished pieces. So if you have more, whatever, you can actually, somebody can actually search by, I think I had encaustic, or, oh, so I don't have very many products. Kate, we could maybe do this with yours, or I can turn some of my products on. You can.
Mine's right here if you want to look at it.
Okay, should we just maybe share your screen? There's one thing I wanted to show people. I just remembered it that I don't think I mentioned. when we were in. So if you're ever like confused where you are, just go here and go to your account settings and you can get back in there, but you can just kind of go back and forth. This is my where I was editing. So you can go back that way, but you can always go back here and go to your account settings. Just takes a little bit longer. Okay, so what I was going to show, I think, was how you can unpublish. So you can unpublish the product here. So like I did here, that's why these weren't showing up. So if I wanted to make these show up, I could. But you can also, if you go into edit here, available for sale. So I can turn it off there. And then if you just do available for sale there and save. Now, if I go to my, I just want to show you what that actually looks like. So preview, not for sale, no, right? And so if you're in the live show, you might want people still to be able to see your pictures on your profile just in case they're coming through. And maybe you put a note on your, a note here in the description, because the description will still show. You can say, well, I'm at a live event for the weekend, check back, or, you know, reach out to me if you're really interested in this product. It's in my booth or something, right? Or maybe come visit me at whatever, or you could actually just put a note in your overall profile. But it's just one way to save yourself from potentially selling a product twice. So Kate, I don't know if you want to show your profile
Sure.
because I think your profile looked really nice in regards to it having,
In situ.
I think, some more in situ pictures. And I think you spent I spent more time looking at the how this thing worked, and I think you spent a bit more time.
Do you want to unshare?
Yeah,
oh.
I will do that. Sorry, I'm just looking. Stop share.
Looks like I can, yeah.
So I think you should be able to do that. So if we take a look at Kate's profile, you'll see that she's did a really nice video.
Tell me where you can see it.
We can see it.
So you can see that when you do a YouTube video, it still doesn't actually fill in the whole space. So the way that I've done these products, for example, here's this one here. Oh my goodness, no, that's totally not.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know. That's just weird. Okay, that was weird. I don't know what happened to that one. So this is the piece, and this is where you can add other pictures of like in situ, and then like Angela was saying, your sides and your frames, or the back, so that people know that it's on a panel. So for all of mine, I actually did do an in situ shot because I think that it helps people to understand what the size of the piece is. Especially because some of them are kind of different sizes or odd sizes, and without context, it makes it much more difficult for people to buy. So where you add that, and you can see here, my description is, you know, if you like this piece but need a different size, please reach out. I can create a commission for you. You can put stuff like that in there. And then for me, I did personal in self-person delivery. You can kind of do whatever you want. The refunds I basically had, because we had a question about refunds, I basically said no refunds or returns on this purchase. Exceptions may apply. So the reason for that is that I actually probably would do a refund if someone really didn't like the piece, or it wasn't what they were expecting. However, I don't really want to make it easy for people to buy something. I have to ship it to them. They don't really like it. They ship it back. Who kind of pays for those costs? So that's kind of my my thinking on that. In order to add all of those in situ pieces, you go into.
You can, well, you've added them in the products, but you can also add them up the top there too. If you wanted to put some in situ pictures up there, you can.
Yeah, so I was having some in here too. So for example, if I wanted to do, this is where, when you can move them around here. So if I wanted to, come on.
You have to click on the little up and down arrows. Yeah.
So I'll just do this really quickly so you can kind of see, first of all, how easy it is. And actually, I think I did originally set it up like this.
Oh, you don't have to upload more. You don't actually have to save there. You just have to close. So it actually saves it because you're actually saving it.
So then on the business page now, you can see that you've got the in situ pieces as well. I kind of like that because I think it's easier for people to be able to imagine what it's going to look like in their place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so,
they look great, Kate.
So for, oops, not this one, because that's a weird one. Oh, now it seems to be there. All right, sorry, for some reason this is covering my screen, so I can't.
So someone's asking, where do you get wall photos, the in situ pictures? There's different apps, right? So there's a few apps that you can do, like they're free for a very short time, or there's so many walls that are free or whatever. But basically, it's a paid monthly fee, right, Kate, for some of these apps?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to get to my my setting. I can't see it. So sorry.
What setting are you trying to get to?
No, just where you kind of upload the pictures. We had a couple people that are a little confused as to where to upload the in situ pictures.
Oh, so I think they either go with your product.
Yeah, so right here, we're at the product. So we can edit here. This is the name of it. This is all the information.
Yeah, so you kind of have to click through save, and then the pictures come up next, and then the variations come up next.
And so this is where this is where you would add a picture and upload all your different versions of your variations of the piece.
Yeah, and you can add as many as you'd like, right? So you're not really limited here.
So it's just before your variations.
Yeah. And then they show on the end product page. Yeah. Okay, do you want to just show your business profile so people can see it again? So when you click on that, you don't actually see the variation. You don't see the first image that you upload is the image you're going to see.
Yeah.
So if you click to view business page, so if you scroll down to your products.
So I have mine on acrylic on stain panel and then resin. So I only have 2 categories because I found that if I had small ones and too many categories, it was confusing for people. And then they looked like there was the same piece that was for sale in multiple places.
Yeah, so those are the categories when I was saying, like, don't have too many categories. Like, you wouldn't have art as a category, fine art. They're not tags, they're actually categories, and only if it makes sense for your work, right? So, yeah. And same as the whole variations and all that. We're just showing you the complex part of it, but the easiest is just to keep it simple, right?
Yeah.
One thing I forgot to show, Kate, if you scroll to the top of your business profile again, if you click on pictures, at the very top, it should say see all on the in the top corner here, where your 5 pictures, your video and your 4 pictures.
Yeah.
Corner. I think if you click that, you can.
And maybe
usually. Okay, there's normally a little button there that says show all or whatever for the visitors, that they can actually scroll through all your pictures. These 4 pictures here, they come up large on your screen and you scroll through them.
Yeah. And the other thing too is this is where your website, your Facebook, all your social media stuff will be.
Yeah.
So.
And then, I should show, so where it says follow and message, there's going to be the other button that I put underneath mine was that Zoom chat. So if somebody wants to have a live Zoom chat.
Why don't you share again, Ange?
Sure.
Over again. So why 30 item limit? Just because we really wanted to make sure that that we felt that it was kind of enough pieces where you could actually profile everything in the store, but it wasn't kind of overwhelming, and that the guesters would be able to kind of look through everything. Now, if you sell 20 of your 30 items, good for you. You can actually take those sold ones down and you can upload new items at any point in time. So the nice thing about Eventeny is you have a great amount of flexibility about managing your own store immediately and instantly.
So I'm just going to show you my business page.
Yeah.
So when I scroll down here, see Kate had follow message, I have video call. So this is where, because I put that Zoom video call in, somebody actually could, like if I had my business hours here or something like that, I didn't put that in there, but you can actually put a video call in. And right now I can't connect or whatever. I think it's because it's my own profile. Yeah.
No, it's you're on Zoom already.
Okay. So Kate did that. I think you sent me a test, and I actually had I don't know, I'm in a loop now. Let's do this. This is a new feature. So I just wanted to show that to people if they were interested in that. And that was, where did you set that up? I set it up right here, video chat, where I went into Zoom and I copied that link and I pasted it in here. So what they're basically clicking on is this link. So it's kind of like an immediate Zoom chat that someone could click on and connect with you. So I have to test that yet.
So a couple of other things. No, you're not able to view other people's pages until the store goes live. The store goes live automatically when the show opens Thursday morning. So unless you talk to your friends and do a screenshot and then see what they're doing. Other thing is, do they facilitate lookbooks? The only place, well, you could put a lookbook into each individual image, or you could upload it as a video, or you could upload it on top of your profile. So there's lots of places you can do that, but you'll have to create it first and then upload it versus it being an option that can be created. It says, I offered self-delivery. That was partially because this was from the Riverdale Art Walk in last year. At that time, we only had the shipping option of UPS, which I didn't want to use. So that's why I did self-delivery, and then I had to call them, and then we'd get a price and I'd have to invoice them separately. So my intention certainly this year is to work with probably FedEx or Canada Post.
Right. Yeah, and I might say, like, what I did is I just say that I often deliver in the GTA. So like, reach out to me if you want to save on shipping or whatever, right? Like, especially for your larger pieces, right? The likelihood is it's easier to deliver than it is to pack that thing up in a crate. But yeah. I think if we're done with the product stuff like that, I think what I'm going to do is just show you a few other things. I just wanted to show people in regards to setting up their Stripe account. So one of the things that's going to happen is people are going to build all this product. They're going to say, oh, I can't, how come when I click my business profile here, when I view business page or whatever, my products don't show up. Right? Like your products, I'm here, none of my products are showing up. I put them in, I don't know what's going on. The reason for that is because you haven't set up your Stripe account yet. So all sales on this platform go through Stripe. So if you don't have a Stripe account, you need to set one up. If you do have a Stripe account, awesome. All you have to do is connect it. So the easiest way to do that.
Or if you've already done this before for previous shows, it should already still be linked up. So you shouldn't have to.
Correct. Yeah. So one way to check if you have one, if it's set up or not, is to just go over here to your account settings and payment and payouts. So you click on this. And so mine is enabled. So you can tell that I set up a Stripe account and it's enabled. If it didn't, if have enabled here, it would say something like account not enabled or something's wrong. That's going to show up here, right? So that's the first thing to check, right? If you're unsure, go check. You can actually go to your Stripe account. You can check out content. There's an easy way to, if you don't know how to do that and you're concerned about just like clicking on things and following through, there is actually, if you go back to your account settings and I go back to my business profile.
One of the other things, when you're setting up your Square account, where the screen that Angela was just there, it's actually so crazy easy that you think maybe you've missed something. Like you literally push a button, connect the Square account, and you're connected. So it's not complicated like PayPal, where you have to go and look for the 2-cent charge and put in all the codes and all that kind of stuff. So just.
But you do have to know your bank account. Someone said, oh, you know what, they should tell you you need to have your banking information. I'm like, well, you're set up a banking payment profile. So I think you need to know your banking account. But but at any rate, if you want to click payout method, this is a video and it walks you through it. Also, step-by-step instructions, there's stuff in there, right? I think even selling on Eventeny, there's a link there about setting up your account as well. So you may want to actually, if you haven't done it before, maybe you want to just download this, just maybe take this link. And actually, I could probably send that to everybody if they're not. Yeah. Well, everybody should just go in there and get it yourself because you need to go in there anyway and look at these videos.
And just a couple quick questions. Square is not the same as Stripe. Stripe is actually just very similar to PayPal, but from a coding end, it's a lot easier to integrate Stripe than versus PayPal, which is why we're using Stripe. And what was the other question? Oh, maybe I screwed up. Yeah, so the Square one you'd use in person. Okay, that's all. Sorry.
I'm going to go back to account settings. So I just also want to show you, so that's to check if your payment's set up and to set up your Stripe account and to connect it, right? It'll say connect or set up or there'll be a link on that page there. But again, there's those how-to videos and there's the general how-to printed document that is a walkthrough slowly, right? So my orders, this is another important thing for you to look at. My orders is where you're going to go to view your sales. All your sales information is going to be here and you can export that data. So I'm just going to click on this and just show you. So you want to go, it might be on purchases, like, oh, what? Nothing's showing up, but your sales are here. And then what you can do is you can just actually export, and it'll export a document and you can open that up and it's an Excel spreadsheet and it's going to provide you even more information than what's here. So it's going to have your breakdown of all the fees and everything. Oh, actually, they've actually changed this. So more of it's showing here. This is new because it wasn't all showing here, like the platform fees. Like, so Eventeny does take, so the Artist Network takes no commission on any sales. There's a small processing fee, and there's a platform fee, which means that Eventeny takes, right? So it adds up to about almost 10%, maybe a little bit less, I think. So we just ask you to recognize that either, and that includes your payment fees, like your Stripe fees are very similar to the PayPal fees if you're used to PayPal. So it includes those fees. So that would be my processing fee here. That's my Stripe fee. And then my platform fee would be what Eventeny's commission was for the sale. So
yeah, so if
but again, you can export it in a document and all the details are there.
if you feel like you want to increase your prices by 10% to cover this, you can. I personally like to keep my pricing the same across all my platforms. And to me, that's just the cost of doing business, of being able to use the site and being able to get access to making it easy for people to buy.
Just looking at my notes here if there's anything I forgot. Stripe account, Zoom chat link, preview products, my orders I just did. Oh, the one point I wanted to put out, if you haven't ever done an order through Stripe or whatever, the first order takes about 5 to 7 business days. Just like I think when you set up your PayPal account first or whatever, it's a very similar process. So if you think, oh, that sale hasn't come through yet, I know that the first payment process just takes a little bit of time. I don't know why that is. I think it's the first time the transaction goes through the bank or through a new system.
I think it's like they need to authenticate the buyer and authenticate the seller. That's one of the reasons that takes.
Yeah. So it's just the very first sale that happens. What else can I show you? Messages. So this is kind of a nice feature too. You can click on here. These are all your messages. So these are messages, and it keeps a history of your messages. So this would be like, look, oh, I reminded everybody about tonight. So so if you're looking for something that I've sent, an email or a message that I sent you through Eventeny or whatever, you're going through your email in your box, you deleted it. Eventeny keeps messages that I sent through Eventeny, so you'll be able to find those here. So these are messages from the show.
I just want to confirm, Ange, the store goes live Thursday, June 17th at 10, right?
Sorry, I beg your pardon?
Store goes live Thursday, June 17th at 10.
Yeah. So I was just going to say, these are client comments. So your client messages are here too. People will send you messages. So when you're here, messages will have like a red dot, or there's a red, I think there might even be a dot here or something, an alarm. I don't know, Kate, send me a message. I can't remember. Yeah. But I think there's something. I think you'll be able to, for sure, you're going to hover here and you're going to see it. There's going to be either a red dot here. There's something that means you've got messages that you haven't looked at. Are there any questions, or did I skip over something?
Just the message. Yeah, Carolyn just confirmed all the messages from Angela will be in your inbox. And David, the messages are found. There should be, basically what happens is there's a little red dot or something that happens on your name. You click on it and it takes you to your messages.
Yeah, well, your messages, you can just scroll down here. They're right here. Am I not sharing my screen? I am.
Yep.
Yeah, so right here.
Okay. Going fast, so some people just have some questions. Will messages also get emailed to me, or do I need to check?
They should be emailed to you. So when I sent you a reminder for the email for the orientation tonight, you should have got it in your inbox. Whatever email you set up your account with. So I'm just going to say there's people who actually typed in their email wrong. so that's the email. Whatever email you set up with your submission, that's the email it's going to go to. So
yeah. And you do also get a notification. You'll get an email when there's a purchase that happens too. So then you can write back and say, thank you so much for buying my art. I'm excited to ship it to you.
Yeah, it's great. I'm just thinking if there's anything I've forgotten. I think that's sort of what I wanted to focus on. I don't know if people have other questions. I could maybe stop sharing my screen so I can see people, but.
What happens if the purchase made by the buyer cancels the payment once we have shipped? I think that's actually would be a Stripe or a Visa account. I mean, technically that's fraud if you've already shipped the piece. I do think it's really important when doing this stuff online is to actually have good communication with the people that buy. So for example, if there's gonna be a delay between the time you ship it or as soon as that purchase comes through, I always think it's really good to kind of reach out to them so they know what's happening, they know when to expect it. I have personally, knock wood, never had somebody who's basically canceled something when and after they've purchased it. Certainly not after I've shipped it. So I think the only way to deal with that would be basically to go to Stripe and say, look, it was shipped here. Here's my way bill to say I've shipped it. She's received it. She owes the money. Otherwise, it would be fraudulent on her part.
Mm-hmm. I think with PayPal, I don't know if Stripe, because I didn't sell that much through Stripe here, but on the PayPal, I think you have to do like confirm, like if you're actually shipping, you have to confirm the shipping, or if you're not confirmed, like it confirms with the receiver or something. And then I think the payments are held and then the payments transfer over.
Yeah.
So I don't know enough about Stripe because we've only used it for like a year or so, but.
So the Artist Network will be doing definitely will be using our marketing. We'll be doing marketing through our Facebook and Instagram and our MailChimp and all the other things we usually do our marketing to. We will also be providing all of the artists with tools that they can use for social media and stuff. And there will be some marketing packages that will be available for additional sale. And we just haven't quite worked out those yet. But like anything, the more all of us can market and promote each other and promote the show as a whole will help everybody be successful. So I kind of really hope that everyone can kind of really join together to do that.
Yeah, and we're doing a preview at the gallery. Hopefully the gallery will be open.
Yeah.
Right. We're doing a 2-week preview for this show. There's one thing I forgot to show people that I just want to show people. So on your business profile, so it's good, Kate, when you're chatting, because then I remember, oh, I didn't say this. So if you scroll down on your business profile, the one thing I forgot to say is this link comes up, business page link. So I can copy this link. So this is the link that I want to copy. And if I want to put that link in something, it goes to my profile in the show, right? So the artist network's going to be promoting the entire show, and we want the artist to promote the full show, right? Because that helps everybody, right? But if you have a buyer that's looking for you or for your clients or whatever, you're going to put in your newsletter, you could share this specific link in something. So this is a link that goes to my profile.
Yeah. So what I would do in my MailChimp is I'd say, here's the Riverdale ArtWalk. There's 100 artists. Here's the link to the Riverdale ArtWalk site. And so for that one, you can use riverdaleartwalk.ca because the links for the Eventeny show will be on that website. And then I would also say, and if you want to look at my specific store, here's the link to my store. So it's always good to promote both of those at the same time because it does help everybody when there's more exposure.
Yeah, and what we're trying to do with the platform, the Eventeny platform, the event link, we actually want to draw people to the overall event link. We're going to try to utilize this map. If we have that with the tent tour, we're going to have that tent tour link and the map on there. We're going to hopefully have areas where we can profile artists as part of like our marketing package. So there's some overall reasons why we want to profile the overall event as well. You want to be part of a bigger show to attract more people.
Yeah. So the other part of that is we could probably talk a little bit about the tent tour. So we are very much hoping, obviously due to COVID restrictions, we couldn't have the show in the park. We are hoping that we will be able to have some individual shows. And so, in the end of your driveway or a couple of people together in a local area. And we will be promoting that tent tour to encourage people to not only shop online, but also to be able to come out and visit people in person as well. So we will we'll send more information on that probably in a couple of days when we have a better sense of what it looks like the city is going to do. But I think we're all crossing our fingers that we can do those tent tours in real life.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Yay.
And that tent tour will be the Saturday, Sunday of June. So it'll be the 19th and 20th of June. And we're right now recommending sort of 11 to 5. So.
Yeah, so the reality is this show opens up on the Friday because our show was going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But if we do the tent tour, we're not going to host it on the Friday. We're going to host it on the Saturday, Sunday.
And that will be promoted on this website as well. And it'll be promoted through marketing.
I wonder if I should show them the, I don't know what time is it.
I'm just going to reiterate once again with Stripe because there's a lot of questions that come back. Eventeny uses Stripe, so you cannot use PayPal. You can't use any other method to pay for the pieces through Eventeny and through this platform except for Stripe. If you already have a Stripe account, you can just link it to what you already have, so you shouldn't have to set up anything new.
And Stripe is actually worldwide used, I think, more, if not maybe like in the UK and stuff like that, and in Europe, Stripe is used way more, I think, and even maybe in, I think for some reason we're just a little bit more familiar with PayPal, but it's used globally.
And apparently the technology, the back end is a lot easier, so a lot of people do like to use it. If
Yeah.
you're registered just for the online, I think, yes, you can be part of the tent tour, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's open to everybody.
Yeah, you don't have to apply or anything, but we do ask that once you have a location for your tent tour, and Angela will communicate this to you, that you let us know what it is so that we can start to communicate. And I would also just personally put that ask in, that once you make that decision to have the tent tour, unless the city shuts us down, please adhere to that. Don't make a lot of changes, and kind of host the tent tour as you would a normal outdoor show.
Right. Yeah. The challenge with with the whole tent tour is like adding people on last minute, taking people off, because it's all like a lot to create these maps and to publish these maps. And we don't want to send people or promote locations and then the location not be there, right? So just think about whether you would want to participate in something like that. And the tent tour is with artists' own risk, and we're asking you to follow all COVID safety protocols at the time.
Yeah, and I think, Catherine's got a note here too. Can you join another artist? Angela and I did this last summer, where we actually, the two of us were at my place. We kept the back of the tent open so people didn't get trapped in the tent. We kept our distance within our tents, and it actually is really nice to have more than one artist in a location, just because it tends to attract more people, because there's a bit more, you get two databases that are kind of working to drive people there. So you'll still have to follow the rules in terms of having wearing masks, having the hand sanitizer, keeping track of who's there in case something goes on. But it's definitely would be worth it, I think, to see people in real life.
Yeah, proper signage. Well, we're going to treat it very similar to if anybody was part of the Art Walk in the Square last fall, we'll have like posters that you can actually print out yourself, and you can put in your neighborhood or put up in your front yard so people know, or at the end of the street or whatever, so that you can print those out yourself and publish your location. Just some different marketing tools, but really we need everybody to promote it and market it so that it's successful.
And so what I would suggest is, if you are looking for a location, or if you have a location you think you can host another artist, then if you can go to the closed Facebook group and put that down, that's probably the best and easiest way to see if there are other artists in your neighborhood or other people that you know are in the show that you'd like to partner with. We do ask that you don't partner with people that are not in the show. And that's really just in fairness to the people that have paid to be in the show. They get the promotion. They're the ones that are going to be hosted and promoted.
Yeah, we won't be promoting artists that aren't in the show. And I guess we also just want to make sure that if you're hosting something like that on your site, you're the artist, the venue is taking the responsibility. The Artist Network, we're not really calling it a Riverdale Art Walk tent tour. We're promoting artists who are doing a tent tour around the Riverdale Art Walk. So you just want to make sure that it's like your ownership, and you take out whatever insurance rider you feel you need to be able to safely do that on site.
Yeah, there are no fees for the tent tour, because this is really a way for us to try and get and have an opportunity for art people to see your art in person. Most home insurance, I think, will probably cover it. If you feel the need to get more insurance, it's best to talk to your own insurance company to confirm that.
Right.
Yeah. And can it be in a garage? Yep. It can be anywhere you want. I would think that you just want to keep in mind that you want to make sure that people are going to be comfortable. So one of the reasons that we kept the back of our tent open is that there was escape route. So people didn't kind of come in, or weren't afraid of going into the tent and getting trapped in the tent. So that's the only thing I would say about a garage. In the issue of a large garage, mine is super tiny, like you totally get trapped in there. So think about that, and think about the comfort level of the people that are going to come and see you.
Yeah, so some people also, I think we're gonna actually have another orientation next week. So hopefully we'll have some decisions made about the tent tour at that time. But really, we're gonna really recommend that you actually don't have any back walls or any like enclosed space, so that people can walk through. I think it's the safest. We've done that pretty successfully last year at the Art Walk in the Square. And then also a lot of people just like set up just grids in their front. Like if there's no rain and there's no forecast for rain, people have hung work on their fences, people have hung work in their backyard and staged it. So there's a lot of different options.
Yeah. And just to let people know, the tent tour is absolutely not a requirement. You don't have to do it if you don't want. It's an opportunity if you are interested. There's a question of whether or not you can show a virtual tour of your studio. Absolutely. That is one of the greatest things you can do in terms of the videos you're putting up place. It's good to talk about your inspiration. It's good to talk about your process. It's great to show your space in the same way that, you know, people love to see that stuff on social media. They love to see it on your store as well. So make that store as personal as you can.
Right. And also, we haven't really talked a lot about marketing tonight, and we'll probably talk a lot more about that next week. But we really want to encourage you to do a lot of marketing and share, and we'll repost where we can. Activities like that, like live videos or demos or stuff like that, we're more likely to get in front of people and have a little bit more activity around it. Make sure I'll send out information about marketing and what our tags are and what our hashtag is, and that would be awesome, because we have more than one platform. We have the show, but we also have the Artist Network, and we have other shows that we're constantly putting feed content out in.
And just again, the show is virtual, the tent tour is real. There's no specific specifications for the layout of the tent. No, it's just whatever works in your space. And there is no commission that the Artist Network takes on anything. And that's partially because, in the same way that if you were in the park doing the Riverdale Art Walk, we would not take a commission. We're not taking a commission on this either. So all of the fees that are being charged are being charged by external organizations like Stripe and Eventeny for being able to kind of host the platform and do the platform. But the Artist Network is not taking a commission. So where is the tent, Tatiana? Basically, the tent is your own space and it's your own tent. So I don't think it can be in a park, because I don't believe that the City of Toronto will allow you to have something in the park. So we're kind of suggesting, you know, at the end of your driveway or in your garage or at the side of your house or something like that. Like, it's not, or a parking lot. If there's one that's, you know, I don't know, you have a store, there's a parking lot out front, studio, then you can have it there. But it's your own space and you can do whatever you want with that space.
Yeah, I think Steve, another artist, reached out to me about like looking for locations and so on. I would be careful about doing it on city property is going to be very difficult in regards to getting permits. I don't think they will permit out. So make sure that it's private property and that the person whose property it is really understands the risk and what they're actually presenting, right? So you just want to be careful about some of those things. But definitely, I wouldn't suggest you showcase on city property. I just pulled up, I'm still sharing my screen, so I just actually pulled up the ArtWalk in the Square from last year, just so people could kind of see what the event looked like. So we have a lot of images up front here, but this was the map from our tent tour. So you could actually click on the map and you could click on artists to find them. We're actually going to try to do that as well. Eventeny's in basically improving their mapping system. So they're working on that right now. So it's going to be my next task, is to actually clean up and make our event page. But we'll have like our opening will be presented here. We'll have like, if there's a preview, we're going to promote that. If there's in-person pop-ups is what we called them last year. And there'll be a map and you can click on a link. And then we also have a schedule of activity. And so if you have, you know, like open studio interviews, or you have something, or if we're going to do interviews, they'll all be posted in here. And then we will probably be running a contest again. So one of the things that we like to do is capture audience as well. So we'll do that. And then the virtual marketplace will come after that. So this, I don't know if you can kind of see because it's all grayed out, but all the artists will look like this. And then you scroll down and you could click on them. The art will be kind of underneath, like there should be a row or two for each artist. You'll just scroll through.
Can you include a tent tour location that isn't in Toronto? Yeah, I don't see why we wouldn't do that.
Yeah, so I think what I did last time, I'm going to see if I can click on this map. Oh, it's still live. I think what I did is I hosted people like here, Hamilton. So I had somebody in Hamilton, so I just put them on the outskirts of the GTA here because there are so many people here. And then, so if I click on this, this is probably Gordon, I bet. He comes up. So the content information isn't there anymore. So what came up here before is I actually had, oh there. So like I had his image or whatever, and I had his information here, and I had the location here. I don't
and
know
then you can see where you can also link to his shop page too. So
yeah, So I think I couldn't, yeah, so go to shop page. So this is what I did. So here's Kate. She was at Art Alchemy. And then, so if I clicked on this, it would go to her. So it still goes to her vendor page. So then people can find you like that. So it clicks right to the vendor. So anyway, I just thought I would share out. I just logged in as
And again, the content you have in your tent, for example, if it's the same as what you have in your store, you can either keep track of the inventory in both and make sure they're synced, or like Angela said, you can just make it, you can unpublish that area so you can still see the images, but nobody can buy. Or what you can do is you could have a totally separate inventory from in the store versus in your tent. You have many options there. So just think about that. So the store is very flexible in the sense that you can go in and update it and change it at any point in time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you could keep 5 products that people could purchase or 10 products that people could purchase in your store and still do a live event and just not showcase those in your tent. And if somebody happens to want a certain color or want that piece, then you can kind of go in and like take it down off your site, but you're not having to manage full inventory in both places.
It's going to be fun. I'm going to be optimistic and feel like very positive we can do our tent tour.
Yay!
Oh, Carolyn's being the voice of reason, but I'm the optimist.
Well, we did it successfully last for the ArtWalk in the Square, so I'm hoping we'll be able to do that.
Well, last year we had a limit of 25 people. So I know at our space, where I think we had 8 artists, we had somebody actually just count and make sure that we didn't have more than 25 people, including the artists in our space. So
the reality is the traffic is probably going to be fairly slow because we're spread out for a tent tour, like all across the GTA and beyond, right? So I think it's different if you're just in like a 4 or 5 block radius, right, Kate, that we've done for some other shows. Yeah. So I think that it'll, like, when we did ArtWalk in the Square, it was just kind of like a nice day. Like people were kind of like traveling in and out and going through. I don't think we were ever really stressed with the numbers.
Yeah. In terms of, can you have it inside your studio? No, I think that I don't believe we're going to be able to have people inside. And so, which is why we're really recommending a tent outside in your driveway, on your front lawn, something like that.
Yeah. I think we'd be uncomfortable promoting something like that.
Yeah. All right. So if you have any other questions, one of the best places really to go is if you haven't already joined the internal Facebook page for Riverdale ArtWalk and ArtWalk in the Square. There's a lot of information there. There's also a lot of people there who've done many of these shows already. So they're a huge wealth of knowledge. So ask the questions, because if you're thinking about it, chances are other people are also thinking about it. So use that.
Have 36 days, 16 hours, and 96 minutes.
I got a lot of work to do. I got some painting to do. Okay, is there any more questions? I think we've answered everything. If not, you know where to find us, and good luck to everybody. Hopefully we sell lots. Hopefully we get to see real people. Hopefully everyone's had their shots.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll see you next week again. We'll talk a little bit more about marketing next week, and maybe have a little bit more information about the tent tours.
When is the session next week?
I beg your pardon?
When is the session next week?
So it's Wednesday at 7 o'clock. I think that's what I put, Kate, right? It was the next week, right?
That channel is today.
I beg your pardon?
Same as today. So the time.
Yeah, that's what I think. I thought so.
Okay,
So it's just a week later.
Yep.
And if you have any questions, reach out to Angela at artistnetwork.ca.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was great.
Good. Glad you found
Awesome.
it.
Thanks a million.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, ladies. Thanks,
Thanks.
ladies.
Everybody. Bye.
Oh, Kat's incognito still with her logo.
Thanks, guys. Terrific. Take care.
Thanks, David.
Can we just stay online for a bit and then talk?
Sure.
Okay.
Well done, guys.
Right here. Okay. Luis and Talia.
Yeah.
Oh, Catherine, she's on. That's nice. So people get a little confused. Like the tent tour is an official kind of thing. Did you get that sense or not?
Yeah, I think people are a little confused.
Sorry, I don't understand the question. People are confused because
Well,
it's not.
Probably because you couldn't see the all the chat, but there was
Oh, you
about
can see the chat, right?
questions of, like, is the tent a real tent? Does it have to be a real tent? Do you have a tent? Are we allowed to we have to do the tent tour? And this is like,
Where are the tents? Are they in a park?
Yeah.
Kind
Who's
of.
got
I
the
think they're
tents?
thinking there's a connection that there's actually an art fair with the virtual event.
I think a lot of that was Tatiana, and I think that at the end she did actually acknowledge that she understands it now. So
Okay.
yeah, I know there was 15 different emails about that.
Yeah, I couldn't see the chat at all. So
That's fine.
Yeah.
I think we addressed everybody. I
Okay.
think, yeah, I agree with you. I think that it's different, right? And if people
Yeah.
are, we've got it, it's the first time they've done a show.
so
and
we
now-
should just stop the recording for a minute.
Yeah.
And,